Ooh, what's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another session of Coffee and Martial Arts. Salute, salute, salute. Cheers. Ah, coffee is really good this morning, and we have an amazing special guest today. Yes, a powerful lady, of course. Yeah, I can see you smiling. Yes, and she's gonna be here. We have actress, model, and Kenpo Lady. Yes, a good friend of mine. I've known her for many years. She's an amazing Kempos, very popular in the Kempo community. She knows a lot of the big players, and she's a big player herself. She just doesn't know it, but she is definitely. And I am really excited and very honored to have Maestra Angela McNamee here. Hola!
Oh my God. That's some welcome, dude. Thank you so much. I
Did you like that?
appreciate it. I did.
Good. Let me share things here on social media. So, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. Look at that big smile. I can.
I know. It's because of you. I haven't seen you in so long. I miss you so much.
It's so nice to see you. See you're doing well, and
Yeah, thank you.
and thank you for accepting the invitation to the show.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for having me. I'm so freaking honored. I can't even see straight right now. I'm so nervous. Ah!
And I believe we're gonna have a lot of people commenting today because, like I said, you're a very popular Kempo lady and also an actress
Oh
and a
boy.
model. That's just amazing. We're going to talk about that, please, um,
Yeah.
during the podcast today. So let me.
All right.
I'm still sharing. I'm still sharing things here. Okay, this is a little bit.
Of course.
Okay, and I think we're doing good here. 1 second. So we always start the podcast with I always ask my guests that if they can share a little bit of their background. But before we do that, we already have some comments here. Salvador Sanavia said, "Saludos, Master Frank. Excelentes entrevistas. Cheers. Saludos." Merv Foreman watching. He says, "Thank you, sir." Okay, so could you, Angela, could you share a little bit of your background? Just briefly, when did you start the martial arts and all that stuff? Jeffrey Karlowski.
Hey, Jeffy Pants. Hi, Jeffy.
Good morning, favorite people. Good morning, sir. Jeffrey's going to be on the show. Let's see. I think it's next week. We'll talk about that a bit. Manon Abel says good morning.
Oh, Manon. Hi. So good to see you.
Anthony Angulo, good afternoon.
Anthony, what's up?
What's up, bro? Marcel De Jong. Hi, Angela. Good to see you.
Marcel, good morning. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Marcel. Bulma Motors Racing, saludos, Master Frank Soto, veo que le ha ido súper bien, soy Ángela de Ciudad de México. Saludos, Ángela.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. James Leonard, hey guys.
No, what's up, James?
Hope you are well, Angela, he said. Good.
Yeah, all well.
He's also going to be in the podcast in a couple of weeks. I think we have Cliffy Monster coming first, then Jeffrey, and then James.
Cliffy.
Yeah.
All right. All my favorites. Yeah, it's going to be a great week.
They're all going to be here.
Yeah.
We have Marcelo saying hello from Argentina. Hello, maestro.
Good morning.
And Nigel Barn.
Oh, Nigel.
Hello.
Good to see you.
From Dublin. Okay. Oh my God, we have so many people. Angelo Colado. Hi, Angelo.
Oh, Angelo. Hi.
Hello, maestro.
How's it going? What's happening? Love to you guys.
Jorge Antonio Uribe, good morning.
Hi, Jorge. Good morning.
Okay, so we have let me check on the mic here. Okay, so please just share a brief of
How I got roped into this madness?
no more. Yes, yeah, about your background. Yes, please.
Yeah, actually, my ex got my kids signed up first, Matt and Stevie, for them to, start training. And I was pregnant with Amanda at that point and sitting on the bench watching everything. And they would do something, and I'm like, I don't think that's what they told you to do. And they're like, Mom, you don't know. Stop.
They sign up where?
Huh?
They sign up where?
At Larry Tatum's on Green Street. Props to Green Street.
So this was in the 90s.
It's just one of those things that, and neither of us knew who, anything about Kenpo or who Larry was. Like, we had no idea. He just happened to be over there and heard some other people say this was a good school. So he signed them up. So that's how I got indoctrinated, just watching them. And then after I had Amanda, she was born in December. And I went to my 6-week checkup, and Doc said, yeah, whatever you want to do now from here on out is good. And John had given me a gift at Christmas for training. So up to black belt. And I'm like, poof, you should have saved that money. I don't know if I'll be there next week. And long story short, he started training. The boys were still training. Then I started training, and I was the last one standing at the end of it all. They kind of dropped out, over time. But yeah, I got hooked right away. Like, there was just hands down, no questions. I wasn't going to go anywhere once I started. It was terrifying, but I did it.
So you started what, 94, I think it was?
It was 96, March of 96.
That's when you started.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
so you got to the studio around the same time I got to Larry's studios, because I started with Larry in March of 96, actually.
Yeah, I started right when you came in, and I had, I can't remember his name, sweet guy, and he ended up going into the military, I believe, but he was my first teacher. Then Jill took over, and then I got Manny, and that was another story. He became the best teacher ever. I think he got me up to about purple. And then I got you, and we went to Browns. Yeah, up through Browns together. So you had me during the worst and best times of myself. You did. You were the best. You took a lot from me, dude. Seriously, you have no idea. I was going through so much, and you just took it, and you just got me through it all. I appreciate you forever, ever, ever, ever.
Hey, well, you were going through some changes in your life. I remember that.
Yeah, it's going through a lot. We went through a divorce there.
Right.
That was interesting. Still trying to train alongside him, and him wanting me to help him get his green belt. And I thought, sure, I'll help you. Throw me a right punch.
I remember that, yes.
So that didn't last long, and he was out of there. And no, but I kid, but it kind of went that way. But yeah, and then I just stuck it out. I cried through most of my private lessons with you, and you got me through it. Your face, you didn't know what to do with me. I'd be in there, and I'd just start bursting into tears. You're like,
I was a kid, man.
I know, right?
I was what, 23? I'd be 24, something like that.
Something like that. I think that's right. And Jesus, I knew Cliff when he was 17. Cliff was 17 when when the boys started training in there. Can you imagine?
Jesus. I mean, this is what? This is 99 when you came here to Hermosillo.
That's right.
Right? There's Manuel, then one of my students, another one of my students, Samarripa.
Okay.
Yeah. That's actually his picture, I believe. He sent that one.
Great trip, by the way. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So this was back in 99, and somebody sent a picture of you that you haven't seen. This comes from Damien. Okay. There you go.
Oh.
A pool party back in 99, he said.
I was probably nursing a nasty hangover on that. I gotta say, that looks really embarrassing, but that's probably what was going on.
Well, Damien sent that picture, so thank you, Damien.
Gee, thanks, Damien. I know
yeah,
I'm rooting for you when I see you next.
Kim Dahl says, hey, from Copenhagen.
Hey, what's up, Kim? It's been a long time.
Yes, nice. And we have another familiar face here. Hey, Frank. Says,
Oh, my other heart right there. Thank you, Frank.
wonderful goes, guess, sorry, love, respect, and many blessings to Angela.
Thank you. Same to you, sir. Much appreciated.
Nice, nice. Catherine Sumter says, good morning,
there
Mr.
she
Frank
is.
and Angela.
Hey.
Yes. She's from the Olympic Peninsula.
Hey, Catherine. Good to see you.
So this is the martial arts ladies week.
Yeah, right on. I
She
told
was
you
here.
we needed more estrogen in here, so thank you for making that happen.
Well, see, she was the one that started all this thing. She was my first guest from the English speaking, martial artist.
Universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the first one back in December, and
Right on.
then it was Scott Higgins, Maestro
Yeah.
Higgins, Maestro Supremo,
Got
and it just went crazy from there. You know.
No, it's been great, honestly, because I would watch even though I didn't know what was being said because it was you and I wanted to support you. So I don't know. Yeah, I've been watching
a
a long
nice
time.
friend, you know.
Yeah, I love it.
Who loves you?
You do, my
Yes,
favorite.
yes.
that trip to Hermosillo, man, that weekend was crazy. I just remember getting off that plane, not knowing that we were going to be training that day because we had talked about Saturday.
Right.
And so Robert and I might have had a couple drinks. I don't know, maybe on the plane. So we got off and you were like, oh, okay, go get your stuff. And I'm like, what stuff? And you're like, Yuki, we're getting ready. We're going on live radio right now. And I'm like, what? No one told us this. And Robert's like, it's okay. We don't have our stuff. Remember, it's in the van. And the van left already. And you're like, no, it didn't. And you held up our bags. And we were like, oh, okay. So, yeah. Pretty soon, things changed quite quickly.
Yeah, but then I think it was Sunday that we went to the beach.
Yeah, that Sunday was beautiful down there. Oh, my gosh. What was that? Was La Paz, I think? Yeah.
No, that was San Carlos.
San Carlos. Okay. Beautiful place, though. Holy smokes. I want to go back.
Mi casa, su casa.
Careful what you say.
Ah, I mean it.
House guest.
No, you're welcome anytime, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, we have plenty of room here, so.
Awesome. Sweet,
yeah.
sweet.
And
when are you coming back this way? Anytime soon? Well, not now because of COVID and everything, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you back down here.
Better.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I want to go visit all the Kenpo Familia.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Let's see. We have more comments. Okay. Donald Alley says, good morning. Excellent work. And the martial pad continues to leave its mark on humanity. Saludos desde Mexico. Saludos. Let's see. Jeff Koloski said, I started in 96 too.
Yeah.
Love me some Manny.
Manny, the elbow inserter.
Manny was, he was a big influence in me as well as a Kenpoist,
That dude was incredible. And I was just point and shoot at that stage in my training. I was not questioning anything. You showed me something, I did it. So I didn't know about inserts and all this stuff at the time. So when you guys would dummy up for me, y'all met up with some pretty interesting things that you weren't ready to get hit with. And it wasn't my fault. It was all Manny's fault.
Oh, he was amazing. He was,
Yeah, he was.
How did Scott said it? One of the Persian episode, because it was him, Masood, that it was not there, right?
Muhammad,
and then Mohammed, yes.
Yeah. Those guys were incredible.
And they were all amazing, great.
Yeah, they were. And so fast. Oh my God.
Right. Manny was just, I remember Manny hitting the what was it?
Speed bag, the heavy bag.
Not the heavy bag, the corner of the frame of the door.
Oh, yes.
doing that all the time.
All the time. All
Yeah.
the time. And you would just hear the glass and it rattling. It's like, oh my God, dude. And the parking meters. You all put a hurting on the parking meters too.
Yeah, we all got that from him, you know, and we were all doing it to just get to the freaking frame. It was amazing. Richard Matthews says, "Good evening from Jersey."
Oh,
Hello,
hey, Mr.
sir.
Matthews, how's it going? Good to see you.
Okay, Frank Bigorius says, "Wonderful guest with much love, respect, and many blessings." Okay, thank you, thank you.
Frank.
Okay, here we have a familiar face. Let's see.
Oh no! Thanks for that picture, Damien.
Angela, Alicia, and Diane Wheeler, amongst other, of course, are three of the most focused and efficient female Kenpoists I trained with over the years. All have inspired me in their own way, rightfully receiving the respect they deserve as a result. I treasure our friendship. Nice.
Thank you, Damien.
Yeah, I have the honor and pleasure of knowing the three of you as well. Amazing Kenpoists, all of you.
Yeah, yes. I'm gonna tell you, it's great working on the mats. A lot of people were saying, "Well, there's not any women on the mats." I'm like, "Yeah, there are," and sadly, a lot of us get bullied away. Hey, stop putting that up there. A lot of us get bullied off of our training, so it's really important to me that women, stick with it. And don't put up with any of their foolishness. You have just as much right to be on the mats as they do. So don't give up on your training,
There's a big group of, let's see this. Look at that.
Yeah, that's the future right there. Those are some of the young ones that are coming up that have just put on some amazing training at Larry's when I was last there. And then I think we had a lot of visitors at that point, but that might have been during one of the last tournaments that we put on there.
That's a very strong group right there.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Nice. Let's see.
And we had our share on Green Street. I mean, geez, I remember Maureen and Stacy and Militia, and Linda Whitney.
Linda, of course.
Yeah. God, we had so many. God, Jennifer French was another one. We had a lot of really good women, and then we had that whole section that came in and kind of trained together during their private lessons, but it was kind of like a group lesson of I think there were a lady from a church group or something like that, and they were incredible. Oh, and Bridget, there's Bridget King.
Yes, Bridget, of course. Yeah, and also, back in the days, remember, I think it was, what's her name? Jennifer Chang, was it?
Yes, that used to do the forms in there a lot.
Yeah, she was very good.
She was one of my influences as well. When I would watch her move, it's like, I want to do my forms like that. Yeah. So it was really important to have so many great influences ahead of me, watching you guys. Because I mean, I was there literally 6 days a week, just with 3 classes, either between my private lesson and I did the morning group class, and then I did the evening group class. So I was there literally all day, watching and soaking it up. Because and
then you brought the kids too to class.
Yeah. The kids literally grew up there.
I remember you were there sometimes 2 or 3 times.
Amanda's cereal off the mats.
Exactly. Yes. And sometimes you were there 3 times a day.
Yeah. Between their classes and mine,
Yep.
Always there. So
amazing.
Well, when you have good people there to watch, it's like, I don't want to leave this because I want to see what else they know how to do.
Says Catherine Sumter says, "You guys crack me up. Love hearing stories from the bald." Yes.
Yeah, well, there's some that we can't share here, but
well, I also remember, advanced class, right, on Wednesdays, and then going to your place to watch South Park.
That's right. South Park.
And get drunk, of course.
Then it was, what was the show? Highlander.
Right.
Paul, and then you guys would stay to watch Jerry Springer.
Of course.
Wilkos, remember Steve Wilkos was on? That was the craziest thing. I loved. That was one of my favorite parts of my training, was also cooking for you guys. You know,
Oh,
just those big pots of chili and homemade lasagna and all the fried chicken. Oh
I'm
my
hungry
gosh,
now.
I miss that. It was like being home, you know, and just having everybody at the house again. That I felt like my mom, you
Yeah,
know,
we
making
would stay
sure
there.
everybody was fed.
We would stay there until what, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I believe.
Easy, yeah, easy that.
Probably, yeah, probably
Because then, of
until the
course,
next
you get to
morning,
go
right?
over everything we went through in group class because we didn't get quite enough, apparently.
Yeah, a little obsessed, just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Okay, we have a question here. Let's see. Anthony says, "I have never worked with her, but I have worked with people that know her and have nothing but respect for her as a practitioner. My question for her would be in Kenpo, who would be in Kenpo your major influences and where do you see your art going in the future?"
Whew. Well, I'm looking at one right here. This guy brought me up, like I said, from purple through my browns. I knew this was gonna happen. So
It's okay.
If it weren't for Frankie, I probably wouldn't have stuck with it. And then when he left the studio, he made sure that Larry trained me because he didn't want anybody undoing, he said, his work.
I said that? No, I didn't say that. That's rude.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry about that, everybody.
It's okay. You meant it with love. Because you knew me. You knew that I would like completely forget everything you said and just follow, you know, because I was terrible. But yeah, so then Larry took me on
I remember
first brown and got me through to fourth black. So yeah,
I remember sitting down with Larry and said, "Sir, I really need to ask you a favor, my favorite." Yeah. He said, "You know, I'm busy. You have a lot of work. Yeah, but see, you're not going to be teaching me anymore. So now you have a spot."
Yeah.
Exactly. So, well, I remember he said, "Well, it's Angela. So yes." Yeah.
Yeah. So those are, so Frankie, of course, Larry, obviously, outside of Kenpo, as far as like martial arts, Jackie Chan is one of my biggest influences. I love that guy's, just his dedication and focus, but then doesn't take himself so seriously. As you can obviously tell, I make fun of myself more than I take myself very seriously. But just the way the things he puts his body through just reminds me so much of us on the mats and coming through Green Street. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's me this morning, actually. That's how I but yeah, it's yeah, and just good people like yourself, Anthony, getting to work with people like you and Damien and, you know, oh my gosh, who else? Donnie, Jeff Coat, gosh, just over in Exeter when I was honored to teach a seminar there and not knowing what the hell I was doing at all. It was pretty incredible, just working with you guys. So I appreciate your support of me as well, because I know you don't have to, and I know a lot of times it kind of like walk in and it's like, oh, there's a woman on the mats, whatever, we're gonna have to coddle her. No, I don't do that at all, you know, and none of you guys ever treated me that way. So it's been absolutely amazing. Absolutely.
Nice. So there's a picture of you. There's in Ireland, I believe, or
yeah, that was Ireland. I want to say 2001 or 2. Oh, and Scott Gonzalez, another favorite.
There we go. Okay.
Love you guys so much. And as far as the future of the art, you know, I think it's people like you all that are kind of changing the level and changing the game a little bit, and not so much as far as like the techniques, but just using social media more and getting it out there. You know, a lot of people didn't even know what Kenpo was for the longest time, and I was one of them. You know, like I said, I had no idea who the heck Larry was, and we went down to the internationals, and people are running up to him, and I'm like, what's the deal? And you guys had to tell me, because he just never carried himself that way, so I had no idea who he was. So it's right. Interesting, you know. But
he's so relaxed, huh?
Yeah, all the time. It's yes. Like, you know, no sirs, just say, "Hi, I'm Larry," whatever, we get to play in our pajamas all day. I'd hear stuff like, how he would talk, and it was just like, I had no clue. But yeah,
Nice.
I think it's holding its own. I don't think people are in there trying to mess with the pot or, put too many spoons in the stew or whatever. I think everybody's pretty loyal to the system. They're playing around with it a little bit more as MMA comes out, picking out some of the ground stuff and being able to incorporate it. Because I tell people all the time, women are in heels, so of course we're probably most likely going to end up on the ground. So
Right.
you better be able to learn how to either get back up fast or fight your way out of there, because there's no there's no barrier between those heels and the ground. So
I remember, a funny story about the heels.
mhm.
The high heels. You couldn't do a decent forward bow. I remember I busted
Yeah,
your butt
yeah,
because of that.
exactly.
Because of the high heels, that heel going up. I was like,
Mhm.
put that down.
All the time. Yeah. And I had that same problem. It's funny you mentioned that, because when I was doing bodybuilding, and my trainer then told me the same thing. I would always have to squat with one of the little weights under my foot, under my heel, because it would come up. I couldn't keep my heel on the ground. So he would, make me do wall sits and everything until I could get that stretched out. So it was a little better by the time I got to you, but it was still an issue for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Rafael Herrera says, my respects, grandes maestros. Big salute from Andalusia, Spain.
Oh, right on.
Nice. Let's see. Angelo says, love seeing you every day on TV.
Oh, thank you, Angelo. I'm trying, buddy. I'm telling you. It's been rough, but I'm making it happen.
Alicia.
Hey, Alicia.
Hello, Angela and Frank. I'm working today, but we'll catch the playback. All my love to you all. Thank you.
Oh, Alicia.
You're so bad.
Well, we can't just toss those names away because they grew up. Come on.
That's true. Fair enough. Right. Martial arts Herrera. Blessings, Lady Angela. Love the Kenpo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Slater says, I love your energy.
Oh, hey, Paul. Thank you so much.
You have no idea.
Yeah, it's not just the coffee either. This is
No. Yeah, you've been like this since I remember you. Yeah.
Since birth, my mom would tell you, probably.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, I remember that you were, you mentioned that you were a bodybuilder. You were actually quite fit when I met you. You still are, but you were already.
Yeah, I was pretty skinny for the most part then, but yeah, always had some weight on me for weight training because of.
I remember those huge legs, like yeah, like, oh my God, you don't want to get kicked with one of those.
But you did though, and you were fine with it.
Oh, I used to love dumbing up for all of you. Yeah,
you did. You were a good dummy. Love
yeah,
it.
I dummy up for you. I dummy up for Miss Tatum, Mrs. Tatum. Sorry.
Yep.
Who else? For Jennifer Chang.
Mm-hmm. Linda and Alicia, probably.
Yeah, all the women, because I wanted to, I was brought up by a very powerful woman, which is my mother.
Mm-hmm.
But, I've never seen women fight up until that point. So I wanted to feel how much power a woman could generate and how much strength and hit power could they deliver.
Right.
And you can deliver as hard as any man,
Yeah. No, it's interesting how Kenpo brings that out too. It's like nothing I've done, even with the weight training. I was always strong, obviously, but it was nothing like having to use that power prior to Kenpo. And then getting in there, and it's something about feeling that empowerment it takes you to a whole other level. So I always tell people, yes, it's important to get your kids into training for the focus and the discipline, but it's also for the empowerment. It's not that they're going to go around slugging people. That's not how this works. I've not laid a hand on anyone outside of the mats. I've never had to. And I don't plan to unless I'm pushed to that. And if I am pushed, they need to know it's going to happen. I mean, there's just no, I've been trained that way.
Right.
We've also been trained not to. And that's what I fall back on first, is either putting on my daddy face, as I call it, because my dad had these impenetrable eyes. And if that doesn't work, then I, try to talk myself down. That doesn't work and they start coming in, then we'll have to see what happens. But it's very important that children and women in particular train some form of martial art or self-defense. It's just so important, because we're the ones that are most likely going to have to use it. So why set yourself up to be in that situation? So
Jeffrey says the church ladies.
Yes.
I forgot about the church lady. What's her name? Amy, was it?
Amy, yeah. And there were at least,
there were like 4 of them,
as I recall. One, Rose, I think, was one lady.
Right.
Oh gosh, there was another one too that was really, really good. Darn it, mine's drawing a blank. Don't get old, people. It sucks.
Yeah, well, it's been a little like over 2 something years, right? Yeah, exactly. We were young and pretty.
Yes,
we're still pretty, though.
Loved every minute of it.
We are still pretty, though, not young.
We took advantage of that young and pretty thing too, man. I mean, we just had all walking around Old Town, like rock stars. It was so fun.
Yes.
And just getting to travel with Larry too was always an experience. I had the honor of doing that to Hermosillo for your studio opening, and then to Ireland, which was, oh my God, that was an amazing trip. That was, I literally cried in the taxi going to the airport because I didn't want to leave. That's how amazing that trip was. And poor Emmerich, oh my God, sweet bear Emmerich, tried to get the flight changed, but that time of day and morning, that it's my stupid American arrogance. I thought, well, let's just call the airport and change it. And he goes, it doesn't kind of work that way here. And so he tried his best, but weren't able to make it happen. So I was in the taxi just crying, and this poor taxi driver was like, are you gonna be okay? I'm just fine. Just get me there and get this over with. It was terrible, but it was so much fun. And just the energy of the people, and the tournament was awesome. I ended up getting roped into sparring with James's sister, and oh gosh, that was an interesting fight. But yeah, it was a great trip and a great experience, and probably something I would never have gotten to do if it weren't for Kenpo. So I love it.
And traveling with Mr. Tatum, the thing that I remember the most, because I did travel with him a lot as well, was from the moment we get on like the cab or got to the airport, it was just laughing and laughing and laughing.
My God.
It's just until the moment we got back. I mean,
absolutely. He is so funny. Like, and it's not like this, slapstick stuff. He's just got that dry humor, and he'll drop something and leave us like in hysterics, and everyone's looking at us like we're nuts because they didn't hear it, And I'm like, dude, did you what? I just said that.
Yeah,
it was funny. Yeah, and even training. I mean, some of the stuff he would drop during Wednesday night group class was just always an experience. You just never knew what was going to trigger something with him. It was hilarious.
Yep, it was very funny. Let's see. Manon says, I've trained with a lot of great women and men through my training years, started in 1980 and still going strong. But you're right. We need more girl power.
Yes.
Power. Yeah. Someday we will too, Angela. Looking forward to that. So much recognition in your story.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, Manon. Thanks for being here. Love it.
Okay. Anthony says there is food after training. Where do I sign up?
Oh, dude, you have no idea. They can tell you.
Oh man.
Wednesdays and Saturdays at my house, it was a total pig fest. Just constant food.
And in those years we could eat anything and everything
Oh
without,
yeah,
because nowadays if I have too much supper, I'm not going to sleep,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
But back in those days we could just eat like
Oh man,
freaking monsters and drink like there was no tomorrow, and then just go
yeah,
to work the next morning.
yeah. Just hop up like it was no big deal. It's like, oh, okay, right on. Let's do some more of this. What? Of course, my body hates me now, but it's it's totally different.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
anytime, Anthony, you're always welcome. Food's on for you, dude.
Richard Matthews says dedication and focus, but not taking yourself too seriously.
I mean, you just have to, because there's going to be somebody who can tell you you're not that cool. So you might as
Oh,
well
but
be
you
the first
are.
one
Come
to
on,
say
you
it.
are the coolest lady out there.
Well,
Nah.
but to a point. It's like, yeah, we had a great time and yeah, we trained hard, but it's like you still got to have some fun in there too, because it'll burn you up. I've seen that happen too with a lot of people. They just get burned out really fast, and it happened to me a couple of times. I would have to take a break because I was so like laser focused on it, and there was just no room for anything else. And that could be pretty dangerous. But you come back to it. It's literally my second home. I'm from South Carolina originally, and all my family's back there. So it's just me out here and my kids. So finding Green Street and finding my new family was just something that there's nothing like it. It's the second to nothing, other than my actual family. But they
Nice.
are my family. So.
Marcel de Jong said that was a great seminar in Exeter.
Oh, thank you, Marcel. Thank you. I appreciate it. And that was the one thing that Damien had originally planned for that was it just be me and the women, which was fine, because it's his thing, and I wasn't certainly going to say anything about it. But as they were supposedly leaving, no one really left, and there was like all these guys there, and it's really intimidating, only because most of them outranked me. So now I'm in the mindset, well, what the hell? I've gone from having to train or talk to women about self-defense to all these black belts and all these guys in here. Oh my God. So of course, the first thing that popped into my head was, teaching that the cross outs is basically you getting the hell out of there, and there's no shame in running. So learn and practice your cross out, because they will get you out of more trouble than you think they will. So it's not just busy work. Cross outs are very important.
Right.
Yeah.
Roberto Almagro, maestro, says many greetings
Oh,
to
wow.
both. They are great Kempos. Greeting from Ecuador.
Thank you
Nice.
so much, Roberto.
Saludos, maestro.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
We have Guido Polidori. A big hug to you both with all my respect. Salutes.
Miss you,
Maestrazo.
Guido. It's so good to see you.
Great guy and great Kempoist as well.
Oh my gosh, he is the best. Just the best. He was in in Ireland with us too, and we had the best time. He's a good dancer. We had fun dancing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Cardenas Kempo. Greetings
Oh,
to Angela McNamee from Chile.
Hi, how's it going? Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Axel. Saludos. Okay, Jeffrey. What Jeffrey says, yeah. All these memories are good and fine. The people really want to know how many cups did she
Oh,
actually
here we
break.
go. Here we go. I was so close. There's 20 minutes away from me having to not deal with this issue.
Sorry about that.
Okay. In all honesty, I still don't believe that's true. I
Come
was
on.
told that his cup was broken. I never saw this broken cup. So until I see it, it didn't happen.
It did.
All I'm saying.
It
It did
did.
not. Did you see it?
Yes.
No.
How many times?
Oh my God. I'm sorry. It's I who blame Bagwell. because he's the one that taught me the roundhouse from hell. So
Right. Let's put it on well. Yes, sure.
who is an amazing, amazing Kenpoist. That guy, I'm going to tell you
Oh,
something. He scared the living crap out of me. I
it
was
did
so
that to me
scared of
too.
him because I would walk into his classes for my private lesson. I would walk across the mat and he's sweating harder than the people in his group class.
Right.
And I thought, oh, I'm not doing any of this. This is insanity. What is he doing over there? You know? And one day, remember at Green Street how we had that product shelf, the glass thing, and then the bench was on the other side of it.
Right.
And then there was the vending machine. Well, I was sitting on the other side of that bench, just talking, you know, oh my God, I was in here in Bagwell's class. That dude's crazy. He scares the hell out of me. And all I see is him pop from behind there. And he's like, what? And I was like, oh, well, what I meant to say was, your classes are really intense, and I don't think I could do them. And he was really hurt by that. He thought, oh my gosh. He goes, well, please come, you know, just come to my class, and you can do this. I know you can do this. I've been watching you train. So sure enough, I felt bad because I got busted saying this stuff. So I showed up to his class. It was incredible. But that was the night I learned how to do the double roundhouse, high-low or low-high.
Nice.
And man, it changed my sparring forever. So sorry, Billy Lear, if I broke your cup, but you can blame Mike Bagwell for that.
No, I didn't see that. It just.
Of course you didn't, because it
No,
doesn't
I wasn't there.
exist. this
But I heard the story though.
This story's a myth. I'm not buying it.
Nah, I think it did happen. I'm pretty sure it did. Anthony Angulo says, haha. James Lerner says, at least 3 a.m. that I'm aware of, as well as a few ribs here and there. Ha!
Hey. I do recall a split lip during something, but I don't know. That was an accident. That was the stick's fault. It wasn't my fault.
Okay, so let's see. Axel says the photo with the flamethrower is great. Yes, that one.
Thank you. That was crazy. That was a fun movie. It was from the same people, the production that did all of the Sharknado movies. So
Right.
it was a lot of fun. They put that together just before the release of the last what do you call Mad Max movie that had Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy.
Right.
So they put this out kind of like as a send up to those movies, and we had a blast out in California City. We must have been there 2.5 months or so shooting that thing. It was crazy. But the that flamethrower was actually supposed to be shot by one of the guys in the movie, but the the lady that cast me, she said, no, there's no way. She said, you've got to be the one to do this. And I was like, really? Can I? So it was like the best. Waiting to be able to finally get that thing in my hands and be able to do it was just a hoot. It was worth all of the days out there in the desert running around like crazy people.
I can definitely picture you all excited when you were about to do it. Like, yeah.
And I was, because it was like the middle of the night. You couldn't see 2 feet in front of you. It's pitch black out there. No lights anywhere. And they actually had two. The guy that made them, Adam Chilson is his name. And they had two of them, one smaller, and of course the one that you see me with. And when he pulled up in the truck for it, he said, which one do you want? And I, before he could even get it out of his mouth, I was reaching for that one, and he just kind of giggled. And I was like, oh, is that not the one? And he goes, no, it's just, that's the biggest one. And I just think it's funny that that's the first one you would reach for. And I just hoisted it out of there like it was nothing. And he said, holy crap. So he just told me, he said, when it first goes, it's gonna go, because I guess you have to prime it, so a lot of the gas is still in the line. So when it first comes out, it goes way out there. So it was pretty intense, that first pull of the trigger. But man, was that ever the biggest rush I think I've had in my life, was firing that thing. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Maestro Patrick Kennedy said, Hi, Angela. We all miss you from all your friends in the LTKKA, Ireland.
I love you guys. Miss you so much. I'm so due for a trip back over there as soon as this nonsense is over. I'm so ready to see you guys.
Pedro Calledo. Pedro says greetings and blessing from San Luis Potosí, Master.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much. Hello.
Carlos Alvarez, love you, Angela. Beautiful
Oh,
soul and the spirit of the
Carlos.
warrior.
Oh my gosh. So good to see you. I gotta return your call. I did. I left you a voicemail. We'll connect.
Nice. Mauricio Sherp, Maestro says, regard Master Angela and Master Frank Soto. Regards,
Thank you,
Master.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Slater says, love you guys.
Love you too, Mr. Slater. Thank you.
Oh, here we go. Cliffy Monster, Maestro.
No.
Ah,
Just a little.
sorry, I'm late to the party. How much crying have I missed? We all know you. Oh. Yeah, Maestro Cliff is going to be on the podcast as well. Let's see.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Cliffy Monster. Those are going to be some great stories.
Yeah, I remember one day we were sparring at the studio, Cliff and I, and prior to that, Larry said, he told me it would be interesting to see you both fighting. I don't know who would win, he would say to me, right? So, of course, stupid me, I took that as a challenge.
Oh my God.
Of course. I mean, come on. Your teacher saying that. I mean, right? So we were sparring. So then I got to Cliff and I kicked him and I made him go against the brick wall, right? He went back and hit the wall.
Right.
And of course, I dropped my guard down. Stupid me. He bounced off the wall. He comes with a kick and just get me with a kick. Wham!
Yeah.
All right. So I guess it was a tie.
Yeah. That dude's amazing. He's gotten me through some pretty ugly times too. I know when I lost Matt, when Matthew passed away, he was one of the first people I called and just told them I can't make any more calls tonight. I can't listen to one more person cry. I can't do it. And he finished my list of calls and he was there at the service and sat with me. And I think that's probably the only reasons why I was able to get through any of that was Cliff. And I remember you guys set me up big time and I had no idea what was going on. He called me into Larry's office and he said, "Hey, I want you to try on something." And he takes his belt off and tells me to put it on. And I'm like, nope, not happening. Bad juju. I'm not touching it. He goes, no, go ahead. Just put it on. I was like, oh my God. The whole time, literally my hands are like this and I'm trying to tie this belt on. And I just felt like this surge, just go through me when I finally popped the knot on it. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't. And I just threw it back to him. Well, long story short, I'm sick as a dog lying on my couch and the door, I hear this door knock and I'm like, what the hell? It's like, whatever. I get up and it's Cliff at the door and he goes, "You got to go to group class. What are you doing?" I'm like, dude, I told you, I called the studio. I can't come in. I'm sick. I got the freaking flu. And I'm walking away from the door and I hear your voice and you said, come on, don't be a baby. And I turned around and you had come from Hermosillo because you guys were going to give me my black belt that night and I didn't know. And I go to the door and you're standing there and I just lost it crying. And so I drive to the studio looking like hammered shit. Excuse the language, but I did. And it was me, Matt Parks, I believe Ralph, and Jay Kirshner. I think the four of us got promoted to black that night. And I was just in tears because that belt was Cliff's belt. It was the belt that he had me try on because he wanted to make sure it was long enough. And that was my first black belt, was Cliff's black belt. So talk about one of my influences, that guy right there. So yeah.
Amazing Kenpoist. I mean,
yeah, he really is. I'm telling you, some of the stuff he pulls out in these techniques is just crazy. And fighting, God knows, no, I don't want to fight him.
Okay. Okay. Carlos Alvarez says, my ribs and cups still remember the day you did the TV shot. All about
Oh
the
yeah.
technique like for you, Big, Will, Robert, Jay, and myself. The lady producer kept saying, let's do another take.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a thing I did with for it's like A&E, I think, channel or something, and it was about empowering women. And I sent in my submission for it, and they came to the studio and they shot a different things. But and then Larry gave a posthumous black belt for Matthew, and they framed it. And yeah, that was pretty intense. But thank you, Carlos, for being such a great and generous dummy and putting up with that on camera, because we all know what Kenpo is like when there's a camera aimed at somebody. It kind of takes it up a notch, you know, because you don't want to look bad on film.
Well, there's a lot of good memories that goes in Kenpo. Let's. I'm going to share a picture with you. I hope you don't get too sad, but I really love this man.
Absolutely.
So, just to show. But let's put a happy one. Let's see. Aha. Let's see.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, okay. Now I'm back. But you know what? All seriousness, Frank was one of the first people outside of our little, group that acknowledged me as a real Kenpoist, as he said. We had done that Heart of the Art tournament over at Twin Palms, and oh wow, he was
Sorry about that.
Yeah, he was there for that, and we all went out after for drinks and food, as we always do.
Right.
And I again didn't know him that well, but I knew who he was, and I knew of his reputation and what he was like. And I walked into the restaurant, and he stood up and he clapped for me, and I was like looking behind me, like, who's here, And he said, there she is. That's who I've been waiting for. And I walked over to him. And I was like, oh, my gosh, sir, thank you so much for showing up. And it was really good to see you there. And he goes, no. He said, I just want to tell you, that's how Kenpo is supposed to look. And I just lost it, as I'm doing now. And he's one of those guys. I always call him Papa Bear, because he was just one of those people, that just loved the art. He loved the people who took the art seriously, but he also knew how to have a good time with it. Oh, there it is. Oh gosh. And speaking of split lips, this is when it happened, actually. But yeah, William shoved me so hard in the opening of this thing that my teeth clacked together, and I thought that I might have chipped a tooth. It was that hard. And wow. I just felt like I got shot out of a cannon, and I just moved, and I don't even think I knew what the hell I was doing until it was over. It was just no. But man, that was intense. That was a good day. And Frank giving me his thumbs up was just really, really special. Just the icing on that cake for that day. Yeah, he's definitely missed by a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
And my kids loved him. They even called him Papa Frank. So it's just like, losing him was just really hard.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
Paul Slater said, "What coffee are you drinking?"
Hey,
a good one.
Like some of the strongest I could to wake me up.
Exactly. Yes. Definitely let it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hi.
Okay. Jihan Jim Recepka said, "Good morning and enjoy your coffee. Tim Hortons ice here with 10 degrees and a foot of snow here."
Whoa. Yes. No. Keep the snow there, please. The Lizard Queen does not approve.
Yeah. Paul Slater says, "I love this lady." Oh, what's not to love? I mean, you're amazing. You are amazing. And I am really happy and honored to be able to share you with everybody here.
Definitely my honor, honestly. Like I said, I've been watching this from the beginning, even though I didn't know what anyone was saying, just because I missed you so much, and I wanted to support you doing this, because I think it's absolutely amazing to get to bring everybody together, and just see all the people come in and comment from all over the world. It's just really, really special that you're touching so many people. And I think, again, that's
Thank
where the
you.
art is going, is conferences like this and Zoom training, and you can just reach so many more people that way. So keep it
Well,
up, dude, because I'm
it's
proud of you. Yeah.
thank you. I mean, it's nice to be able to recognize everybody, and
Yeah.
and to be able to recognize you. I mean,
Yeah.
you have had a very powerful career in Campo and go through some rough times. So
Yeah.
to be able to give you a little bit of love and
Thank you.
it's just I'm very happy that I can do that. And
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Jeffrey says, Papa Frank, I think I took that picture.
You probably did. Yeah, I think it was me, you, and gosh, I'm sorry. I'm so emotional right now. I can't keep it together.
That's okay.
But gosh.
Sorry about that. But
That's okay. You knew it was gonna happen.
of course, I was trying to be very nice, though.
No, no, no. It was it that it. There's no way you can slip those things in there and it not happen. It's just an automatic trigger, you know.
I think it's important, though. I think it's and also important to be able to share what Frank Trejo was about.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially outside the mat, he was just an amazing person to hang out with.
Oh, just the best storyteller. Oh my God.
Yes, yes.
Some of his stories, it's like, dude, you've got to make a book. You've got to make a movie. This is just pure gold right here. The stuff you're telling me, it's just incredible.
Yeah,
Absolutely incredible.
I agree. Catherine says, fantastic black belt story.
Oh yeah, Cliff really knocked me out with that one, but you showing up at my door unexpected just really, really sent me for a loop. I thought, yeah, screw the flu. I'm getting up. Frankie's home.
Well, I had to be there for your black belt. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that more than you'll probably ever know, honestly. Yeah.
It's an honor, really.
Yeah, thank you.
Carlos says, buenas tardes, Big Master. Saludos from Brazil, Manaus. They know me. I'm the Big Master.
Nice.
Yep. There's nothing grand about me, but I am big. So, yeah.
You're silly.
Saludos al maestro invitado, maestra. Yes. Cheers. Okay, Damien says, strangely, her her deviled eggs are as notorious as her Kenpo. That's right. Yeah.
The deviled eggs. And I can't go to a, what do you call those things? Gosh, I don't know. Where everybody brings something, potluck. It can't go to a potluck and not bring deviled eggs. If I try to get in anyone's house without deviled eggs, I'm not allowed in. It's just not going to happen. So, but I got to thank my mom for that. That was her thing too. When I was growing up, everybody loved her deviled eggs. So when I make them, it's with my mom's love attached to it. So she loves it that I'm still making them to this day, and that they're such a hit.
Nice. Cindy says, so lovely to see you. You're so special for my husband. You are.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I'm going to cry.
I know, right?
International Hall of Fame. Big hug from Argentina.
Oh, right on. Hello.
Okay. And I'm going to take the moment here to say, they are sponsoring this, and we are going through their fan page in Facebook, the International Hall of Fame magazine from Argentina. Yep. Wow. So, they did an article on what we're doing. This is an article about what we're doing with the social media and stuff, all this podcast thing.
Right on.
Their magazine, yes. So
that's a great picture. Just how I remember you.
Okay, so we have a couple of pictures here that I want to share before we go. Okay, so we saw that one.
Yeah, that was at at a Q&A for the movie Honey Boy, and John Bernthal was there, and he did the Q&A for Shia LaBeouf, actually.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really interesting. But this dude is all about MMA. He loves the sport. So it was really nice getting to talk to him about some of that stuff, and then take that picture. It was like, oh my god! And he was leaving too, and I was like, I love MMA too. And he turned right around and he came back over, and he's like, oh, right on. And he came over and we started talking about that. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice. And who is this kid here?
Oh, this is oh my gosh, again drawing a blank, but he was the Timothy Chalamet. Thank you,
Yes.
is his name. Talk about a talented kid. Holy smoke, this guy is he's keep an eye out for all of his movies because he's never a disappointment. That kid is incredibly talented and so young and still has so much to do.
Nice. Let's
Yeah.
see. Okay, we got another one here. Okay, this one over here.
Oh, that's my boy, Richard Dorton. He is okay. So if you play video games at all, you have probably shot this man and killed him 100 times over. He is the motion capture god. Like, if you want to learn anything about motion capture, this is the man. And I got invited to a summit one weekend that they were doing, and I didn't get to put on the suit or anything because that was a whole separate entity. But just to watch this whole production for like 3 days, and I just kind of stayed in touch with him over time, and then took a couple of classes, and then they invited me and about 6 other people last month to do some equipment test. So they had all this new facial capture recognition machines and apparatus, so we had the whole headgear, we had the full suit on with the dots, and that's what picks up all your motion.
Right.
So as you saw us there, if you looked on the screen, we were like characters. It was really cool. So it was like we were video game people. But these guys, Motion Cap Vaults and Rouge Mocap, are the premier people for motion capture, and they're just amazing. Could not be nicer. It's almost like another extension of the Kenpo family. Like, once you're in, for life. They just
right.
Yeah, his name's Richard Dorton. He is incredible. He's got some crazy credits. Oh, and he was one of the heads in Godzilla versus Ghidorah. He was one of the 3 heads. Yeah, so he was the one that got derped. Yeah, so he loves to talk about being the head that was lost.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, Master Juan Martin Alvarez says it's the only martial arts magazine on paper in Argentina. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, they still do that. Yeah, they're very successful with it, actually.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay, Miguel Narvil says, greetings from Guadalajara. Very touching, the friendship stories forged on the tatami. Real friends help each other out to grow up. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Regards.
Thank you.
And Richard Matthews says, fantastic interview, some great insights, so personable. Thank you, Angela. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And Angie, we are out of time, man. It's been an hour already.
Yeah. Well, again, honestly, you have no idea. You're just one of my favorite people, and your family, and we love you. All of us do, and you'll always be our Fraquico.
I'm supposed to be saying this to you at the end of the show, not you to me, but thank you.
Since when have I ever been conventional? Come on now.
That's right. Kim Dole says, great interview. Need to run. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. You too. Everybody, please wear your masks. My God, stay safe. This thing is not a joke. It's real. I'm losing a lot of really good friends. Stay safe, please. Love you all. Thank you so much for the love and support. I would not be here without any of you. So thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, thank you, Angelina. Carlos Zamora says, big hugs for both of you. Nice day, and thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you. Angie, it was an honor. And of course, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, always, every moment, anytime. But I'm truly honored to be able to recognize you, your career. You are an amazing person. You are truly one of the most talented Kenpo ladies I've ever met, and of course, I mean, even have the honor to teach you for a little bit, but
A little bit, he says.
it was just a little bit. It was
So
what, a
much,
year?
so much for a long time. I appreciate it, dude.
But
You're one of my bigger influences. So whatever I am, it's largely because of you and your training. Thank you so much.
uh,
Yeah. Have a good morning. I love you so much, to the moon and back forever.
thank you, and I hope to see you to bring you back here as a guest, because I guess we have so much thing to talk about. I mean,
Yeah,
this was so
absolutely.
short.
You know, we can go on forever.
Yeah.
We got a lot to say.
Yeah, so I want to thank everybody for watching, everybody that commented. Jim Recepka said, amazing live post. Thank you, sir. Thank you to all the people in Europe, South America, and everywhere.
Yeah, man, that was
Thank
crazy.
you for commenting. And just a little bit of let me mention, tomorrow we have our show, Coffee and Martial Arts. What you probably haven't been told about the Yakuza. We're still talking
Ooh,
Oriental culture with Axel, and that's going to be in Spanish but translated into English. So Angie, I really, really, really love you. You are
love you.
the best.
Yeah, you too, Frankie. Love you so much. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.